What's up, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. We are here today back at it with Miller Football, the Geek Slays. We are wearing our jerseys today. We're feeling all nice and cooperative here with our NFC North jerseys. Today we're basically just breaking down a divisional round, talking about those games, and then previewing the conference championship games. Thanks for that, talking about some storylines going into that, and if time permits, which it very rarely does, we'll be talking about some coach hirings that have prospect and stuff we decided to ramble. So let's get right into it. How are you boys? That's probably talk.
Bro, you lagged all the way through that.
I was waiting for the hammer. It was pretty funny. No, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good.
Do you want to redo that?
No, it actually didn't. It wasn't that bad how it came through.
Oh, really?
Honestly.
Okay.
It wasn't
Sorry.
as bad on our end. Or my end, at least.
Okay, that's valid. I just want to make sure.
No, you could tell he was lagging, but nothing really got cut out or chopped up too bad.
I was going to say it was really bad on my end.
Fair. But, internet issues. We have a great group for that.
Yeah.
Internet issues are not something we can get away from here. Or computer issues. So one day everything will be beautiful and perfect. But no, I'm doing all right. Oh, that's bad.
That is rough.
Oh no. He's going for the hammer. Okay. Oh. All right. Nope. I get it, dog. It's tough. This is definitely an intro to this show for sure. We're doing great. Miller, how you doing?
Okay.
All right, Jake, how you doing?
He's in the void.
He looks.
I'm okay.
He looks so dead inside suddenly.
Listen, man. I am not only exhausted, but you probably didn't even hear me say that I'm exhausted because of the internet issues. But
oh man, no, you're doing okay now.
Well, all right. Well, yeah, I'm exhausted, but we're here. We move. We ball.
This is a problem. Our host is the one cutting in and out. That's not good. You run this show. We just give opinions. Oh man,
this is awful.
It's
all right. Oh boy. Divisional round. How games happened, things happen. Oh man, I'm off my groove. Let's talk about the divisional round, boys. Obviously, we'll start with the NFC. We'll start with the easiest one to break down, in my opinion. The Giants absolutely get beat down by the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we really surprised? Absolutely not. But yeah, I mean, here we are. Philly offense looked exactly how we expected them to. Jalen Hurts, very glad that he played in Week 18 because this just proves that as long as you play in Week 18 and don't have two byes in a row, you're probably going to be okay. And they were okay. They did great. I mean, I don't really have much to say on this. I'll let you two take the floor, but yeah.
All right, I want to start this with a question for you two.
Sure.
Daniel Jones is going to get extended.
Yes.
Like that's
Sadly,
pretty much a given at this point. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best move in the world, but unfortunately it's not like they have.
It depends on the extension.
That was kind of my question. How much would you be comfortable paying Daniel Jones and for how long?
10.
Yeah.
He's not going to settle for 10.
I was going to go give him 2 years at a total of 30. 15 a year.
15 maybe. I think that.
I don't think he signs for that little.
Cool, then walk. No one else will offer you that.
Yeah, whatever the Giants offer Daniel Jones will be his highest offer because all the other quarterback need teams are either going to draft a guy or they're going to go trade for a guy who's a lot better than Daniel Jones, right? And I think that I think that Daniel Jones, if he leaves the Giants, will probably be a backup somewhere next year. If the Giants hand him a contract that's double-digit $1 million for more multiple years, I think he should just sign it right there and then. Like, I genuinely, like, if he wants a chance to be a starter in this league, that's his opportunity. And I don't see any of the quarterback needy teams prioritizing him, and he'll probably end up just not getting signed, and then he'll get signed as a backup somewhere, and then he won't play, and his career is pretty much over. So I would say that.
Or he'll end up like Trubisky. You get signed and told you're going to be the starter. You start for 4 weeks, and then you get benched because obviously you're not the guy.
Like, I could see the Panthers signing him and then, like, drafting a guy.
Nope.
No.
Frank Reich is drafting a guy and going with a young guy. That's it.
That's what I could see. Not the Texans wouldn't do it. I actually don't know if any of the QB.
No, it would be something weird
on him. Like the Commanders might sign him,
or the Cardinals. That would be the sneaky team, because you could keep the offense maybe the same as you'd run it with Kyler. Yeah, because at least Danny can move.
We need to figure out who their head coach
Danny doesn't have the arm Kyler does, so they're not going to be able to extend the field with him on the field. That's the only problem. That's a lot of Kyler's game. That's a lot of their offense is pushing the ball downfield. And Daniel Jones can't do that.
Are they going to have a coach that can do what Brian Dable's doing with Daniel Jones?
Well,
because no coach is going to go that easy.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, but that's true. Sean Payton's not going to go that easy on his QB. Either you figure out my offense or you're out. You're done.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And like D'Amico Ryans probably won't be calling offensive plays, and I don't think that he ends up in Arizona anyway. So he'll probably be.
Isn't Denver the favorite for him right now?
Probably him and them in Houston. Yeah.
Either way,
if I gotta say this real quick. If I'm a first-year head coach, unless Houston's offering me $100 million a year, you say no. All that organization has done is prove to you they are awful. Like 2 years in a row, you're firing your coach. Yeah, no, fuck that.
But they
guarantee me $100 million, or I'm not coming.
They also haven't hired any of the top candidates recently.
Doesn't matter. You still don't fire a dude after a year when you give him nothing to work with.
Right. You can't tell him he has to tank for a draft pick, and then when he's bad, you fire him. That's stupid. Yeah. That's awful ownership.
I also don't think Lovie Smith was trying to tank. I think the Texans were trying to tank.
Oh, absolutely.
To be fair. I don't think Lovie Smith is kind of coach.
Lovie said
to lay down and take it.
He knew he was out in the last week. That's why the Texans tried to actually win the final game and ended up winning it. It's because Lovie knew he was on the way out, and he said, "You know what? Fuck you. You're gonna fire me. So why would I lose this game?"
If Lovie Smith had his choice, he wouldn't have called a Hail Mary on 4th and 20. Like. He probably would sort of run some check down routes like Damian Pierce or something.
I don't think I agree.
No.
Lovey's calling the Hail Mary. He wanted to win.
Yeah, that's my entire point. Yeah, he wanted to fuck the Texans over because he knew he was on the way out. Well, I'm fully convinced that's what happened.
And I still have a feeling.
Fair enough.
Who's the Bears DC right now?
Bum named Alan Williams. I want it to be Lovey so badly next year.
Dude, it could be. I mean,
even if he's not the full-on DC,
he just
I'd love to have
gave
him
you
like
the first overall pick. Like, he's done more for the Bears organization than any other coach ever.
Imagine a world where he gives the Bears the first overall pick, they end up with either Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, and he gets to coach them next year. He put the Bears in a position to get to coach one of those guys next year.
That'd be fun. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Like, even if he's not the full-on defensive coordinator, because Alan Williams is like Eberflus' disciple. He came over with him from Indianapolis, so I don't know what the situation is there. But even if Lovey came on as like, I don't know what position group he would coach. I'm sure he's done it at some point in his career, and I just don't know off the top of my head. But I'm sure he could come in and do something like that. Worst case.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got here somehow from talking about Daniel Jones.
We're trying to figure out what team would sign him if the Giants.
I think he will be a New York Giant next year, almost undoubtedly.
Yeah, obviously.
If he leaves, he'll go be the backup for like Josh Allen. He'll go to a team who runs an offense where he can maybe kind of make it work. Maybe.
Yeah.
And I think that. I said this before on Twitter and stuff. Like, I think if you really believe that you can compete with him if you have the right roster, which they didn't this year, and they still competed a little bit. So if they have the right roster and they do the same little little elementary school offense for Daniel Jones that they did this year, they'll probably be fine next year. I mean, that's a tough division, but it was this year too. So, I mean I
that's
don't really
kind of the idea.
I don't see a path to regression for the Giants, honestly. I only see them getting better, unless Daniel Jones just goes back.
All
to
it takes is
figure out that offense next year.
Well, because the entire offense is this. Dable tells Daniel Jones, all right, Sterling Shepard is your first read. If he's not open, he should be, but if he's not, you run. What happens when they're not open ever? Like, that's not going to work. It didn't work against the Eagles, a team who could actually overcome it. Like,
I was gonna say the Eagles kept him in a box. They contained him, didn't let him get outside of the pocket a ton, and once he couldn't run, he couldn't do anything. And teams are gonna. That's the whole point of having an entire offseason to evaluate film. Like when you have a guy that bursts onto the scene like this. I know this is a very basic knowledge type thing, but just to lay it out for any Giants fans out there, when you have a quarterback who randomly bursts onto the scene in a brand new offense, first year is great. The real test of whether or not it's good is whether they can repeat it the next year. It's why a bunch of rookie quarterbacks come in, look good, and then they hit that sophomore slump. It's because the league has a full year of film on them, and they can quote-unquote figure them out throughout the offseason and then apply that during the regular season the following year.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. Dable's going to be tested next year big time if he tries to do the same shit he's doing right now with Daniel Jones.
I mean, that's been
which
said
is really all he can do.
Right.
I mean, that's been said about like literally every quarterback. Like people are like,
right, because it's the truth. That's how it works.
Yeah, after Lamar won his MVP, everyone was like, "Yeah, they'll figure him out. They'll figure him out." And like people said the same thing about Mahomes after his first after the 50 touchdown year. Like, oh, now they've got him. It's
technically
over.
Teams did figure them out. They were also just good enough that it
they
didn't
were just
matter.
Able to adapt.
Yeah.
Right. You have to adjust too.
It.
Daniel Jones can't. I'm sorry, it's been 5 years. There's not another fucking step. There's not. This is it. You've seen his peak. And I know I'm waiting for somebody to just tell me, what about Geno Smith? Which is not the same. He started for less than 2 years. Not the same. Not the same at all. Geno only played for 2 years. Not the same.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the Philly side of this thing, we talked a little bit about how they were able to contain Daniel Jones. I mean, this is a powerhouse. Yep. I mean, they're ridiculous. I mean, what else is there to say about them? They are the best team left in the playoffs. Not to say they'll win the Super Bowl guaranteed. I think they will. But I think they're the best pure team all around in this. I mean, the Bengals definitely compete with them a little bit, but like all around, I mean, that pass rush is so deep, and the offensive line has depth too. Like if one of their guys goes down offensive line, obviously it's not great, but they didn't have Lane Johnson for like the majority of the back part of the season, and they were pretty good. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, I worry a little bit about him when it comes down to like, can they win a tight football game against a really good team with him? I lean yes. I think their defense can keep them in a game too, but like, I don't know. I'm also worried that Sirianni could get outcoached by Shanahan or Andy Reid if it gets to that point.
I'm not so worried about Shanahan.
Getting outcoached. Yeah, well, see, I'm not going that route.
No, okay.
I just don't think it's going to come down to Sirianni getting outcoached. Also, I think it's going to be other factors that we can get into when we talk about the actual matchup, obviously.
Purdy is not the reason the Niners have won anything, and you know that. Do not start making Brock Purdy your new Drew Lock.
No, I was.
He was saying the other way around. He was saying Purdy would be the reason why they would lose.
Sorry, I'm used to everybody. Everybody's been calling Purdy a god. For some reason, he's up for a Rookie of the Year nod.
Gosh.
And
I know.
Oh my God!
I know that. I know we're trying to stay on task here, but I literally knew I would make people mad by doing this. But when I put Jimmy G in my quarterback rankings, I put Jimmy quote better than Brock Purdy G, and people were just like, "How can you say that he's better than Brock Purdy?"
Because he is in every way. Wins are not a stat.
They're like, why is Brock Purdy not on this list? I was like, because he wasn't their starter, and he should never have been their starter. It just happened to be that the job fell in his lap.
And also, if 5 regular season games is enough for Brock Purdy to be in consideration, why is Breece Hall not in the Rookie of the Year voting?
If Young wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, His hammer's getting a different use.
The
I don't know
shitty thing
what
is
else
he has a chance because all of these awards are completely narrative driven.
And it's also it's a quarterback award. We saw this.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson had the greatest rookie receiver season of all time, and they gave the award to Herbert
Actually,
because he was kind of good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Fuck you.
swear to you, bro.
Well, he broke the touchdowns record. Oh, you mean the one that Baker broke the year before that, and Cam Newton broke, and literally every
Right.
rookie quarterback breaks that's not
Garrett-
special. The
Garrett
record
was-
for Jefferson stood for 20 years. Like, nah. Then giving the award to Jamar Chase the next year, I want to burn down the people who vote for these awards. They are all fucking stupid. Every one of them.
Since we're on the Purdy thing,
Sorry.
do y'all have anything else to say about the Eagles or the Giants, or can we just jump to this Cowboys-Niners game because I'm more interested in it?
Eagles
Yeah.
good
Okay.
win game.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing with the 49ers right now. Okay. You guys know I love the 49ers. Love me some Shanahan. Love me some Juicy Check. Love me some Kittle, some Warner.
Yep.
All those guys.
Oh my God, Warner covered.
Oh
the
my
city.
God.
Don't forget Tashawn Gibson, the GOAT.
Deshaun
Wyoming
Gibson,
legend.
Bears legend.
Wyoming
Javon
legend.
Kinlaw, Grant Cohn's father. The list goes on. There's so many likable 49ers.
Yes.
And Brock Purdy, as a player, is likable.
Yes.
Yo,
like
the
Purdy.
Vikings just hired Brian Flores.
No
as
shot.
their
They
defense.
Wait.
didn't.
He interviewed
hold on.
there today.
They interviewed
yeah.
him, bro. I thought I was
dude.
almost. I was like
Fuck
crazy,
you.
bro.
Dude,
thought
I
Vikings
hate
and
you.
Brian
I thought it
Flores
was
as-
official. God damn it. You baited
Never
me.
mind.
Anyways.
Fuck, you baited me.
Anyways, Brock Purdy, as a concept, is a likable dude. 7th round pick, defying all the odds, starting in an NFC Championship game. That's a great story. It's a great narrative. He's an underdog. You want to root for him. And then along comes the NFL media and 49ers fans, and they're like, okay, this guy, he's top 15. He's top 10. He's better than Dak. He's their franchise quarterback. Joe Montana, who we're all on the Purdy train. It makes the 49ers the hardest team to root for in the
Yes.
playoffs right now. As the fucking fullback guy who prays to Kyle Juszczyk nightly. I hope the 49ers lose just so these Purdy narratives will shut the fuck up. And the
Yeah.
worst part is, I know it's all internet driven.
Yep.
Because my father, I don't want to sit here and hype up my dad, because that's like, that's corny, whatever, blah, blah, blah. My father knows more about football than any individual I know. Me and him were talking about Brock Purdy the other day. He said, yeah, the kid's good. He makes some plays here and there. He's okay. He shouldn't be their starter next year, guaranteed. He doesn't have all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I told him, well, I think he's overrated. I don't think he's that good. And he said, how could you think he's overrated? We got in this whole big fight about it. And then it clicked to me, this man's not on the internet. He's not on Twitter. He doesn't see what everyone else has to say, so he doesn't see the way people are hyping him up. The average Joe, the average human being that isn't on the fucking internet like we are, understands what Brock Purdy is.
Yeah.
The average Joe that sits at the bar on Friday nights, gets drunk, and talks to his friend. That's not my dad, just putting that out there. Okay, well, maybe not that. Geek's clearly shaking his head. Either way, the average Joe is more in tune with something in football than the entirety of the internet right now. Because the internet is obsessed with quarterbacks winning football games, and I cannot stand it. Like Geek said, winning is not a stat. It's not a quarterback stat. Sure,
It's a
you can
team
argue they're
stat.
the most important player on the field, but it's a fucking team sport. This isn't basketball where Brock Purdy's going off for 70 points in a game and basically, even then, basketball is a hard example to make because you still have to play defense. There's no real individual sports. I went a weird way with that. Anyways,
even basketball though, one player does make way more of a difference because they play both ends of the court. Like
okay,
that-
LeBron contributes more to every one of his championship teams than Brady did to his because he has to do both ends.
Fair. Right.
Like he can carry a team to the playoffs. If your
You're
defense is bad, Brady can't do shit. If all that mattered was how good your quarterback was, since 2009, the Packers would have won every Super Bowl until Patrick Mahomes got in the league and he'd have won them all. If that's all that mattered. but it's not.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a fucking team sport.
Mhm.
Ridiculous. I hate these Purdy narratives. I'm sorry, Jake. I know I keep cutting you off. I am just heated because the internet is forcing me into fucking rooting against the 49ers, a team that I have been high on since the start of the season. I picked them to have defensive player of the year. I picked them to have coach of the year. I picked them to have comeback player of the year. I ranked all the teams based on how much I liked them, and I said the Niners were my favorite or my second favorite. I said they have the best fullback in the league. I sing their praises constantly. I freaking watch their defense in my spare time just to get hyped up, not even to study them, just to get excited because of how fun they are. Their offense is something I could sit and watch for hours and hours and hours. But these mind-numbing Brock Purdy narratives that everyone on Twitter wants to push have driven me completely away from this team, and I hate it. This is as close as I will ever be to hating my favorite team. This is as close because, like, I don't, I'm a Bears fan above all else.
Yes.
Every year, I got to pick a second team in the playoffs because the Bears suck. And every year, it ends up being the 49ers because I love everything they do. Massive fan of, I already talked about all the guys I'm a big fan of. But I hate this fucking team right now because of all these stupid-ass narratives. I just want everybody to shut the fuck up. I want them to lose so bad. And I hate it. You can call me chronically online or a nerd or whatever for fucking caring this much about what the internet has to say, but exactly, it's kind of what I do now. It's not my job because I'm not making money off of it, but like it's a predecessor to what my job's gonna be.
Right.
Yes.
This is me getting prepared for my eventual career. So like, I just can't take it. I just can't fucking take it. I hate it.
And I think one thing that's really been frustrating after the Cowboys game is that people refuse to admit what happened on the other side of the ball when it came to the Niners. Like if Dak Prescott had played the level of game that he played against the Bucs, they would have beaten them, and the narratives would have been completely flipped. Like, oh my gosh, Dak's a winner. He's a top 10 quarterback, and I think that Purdy has not played a game in these playoffs.
No.
I mean, he hasn't, and they've won 2 games. And this is what I said about them when we did our original previews: is he does not have to be good. He has to just hit the throws.
That's not even it.
That's not even their way.
Hold on. He got in their way in the Cowboys game.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I don't know what voodoo magic Brock Purdy is working with. The Cowboys defense is one of the best in the league at generating turnovers. They dropped 7 interceptions. Not difficult, maybe they could have picked them. Not like Trevor Lawrence's interception where the defender made a perfect play and you can't even be mad. No, These were Trayvon Diggs in his chest twice and he didn't catch it. That never happens again.
No,
and I promise you that's not going to happen against Philly. It won't.
No.
And that's what I've been saying, and we'll talk about this more in our preview, but Purdy has not faced a good secondary yet.
No.
The Cowboys defense is good this year, but the secondary is banged up, and outside of Diggs, they're not that good. And the Seahawks secondary besides Tariq Woolen and Tariq Woolen played a bad game against the Seahawks. Against the Niners. If you watch that game at all, he was getting toasted.
Yep.
And they're facing a very good secondary, and I don't know, man. It's just these weapons might be too much.
They're not.
That's exactly what happened with the Cowboys. That they were too much, and it's just George Kittle is an absolute freak.
Oh
I don't get it.
Listen.
If he had I don't get what happened at the beginning of the season. He was a left tackle for a while, but if this dude, I really wonder if he took his playoff numbers right now, what he would have been on pace for this season if he had these averages, because he's a monster. I don't get it.
Listen, speaking of George Kittle, can we just take a moment to appreciate his fucking catch, where he was running full speed, never broke stride, fully extended his arm and bobbled the ball to himself. That's any other player pretty much. That's an overthrown pass, and everyone's like, oh my god, Purdy, what the fuck are you doing? That was a terrible throw, Brock. Because Kittle is a fucking inhuman freak.
Yes.
It's oh my god, Purdy put it on the money.
No, he didn't.
Shut the fuck up. I know he didn't, but that's what the fucking internet wants to tell you because they don't watch the game.
Was it the Jawan Jennings catch against Seattle? Where he literally almost got his teammate murdered. That was a hospital ball.
Something that I saw on the internet
You
was
put
like,
that ball. Plus, if you lead that ball upfield, up the sideline, it's a fucking touchdown.
yeah,
Like,
and
I
somebody
get
on the
that not
internet
every.
said that like Juwan Jennings would have been dead if that was a Legion of Boom. Like Cam
Yes.
Chancellor would have
Yeah.
come in and just
Or
killed him.
even if Jamal Adams was healthy. I know we talked a lot of
Right.
shit on him before we started recording, but even if he's healthy, he murders Jennings there.
Yeah. And like, look, I just want to say, I fully understand that not every ball is going to be perfect,
Right.
and not like if a ball is caught at the end of the day, like that's all that matters. But in that situation with Jennings, right? The only reason the reason that's good to bring up, Geek brought it up. Normally I'm the one that brings it up, but the reason it's good to be brought up is because that play was getting fucking hailed like it was Purdy's career-defining moment. Like this was some spectacular throw that no quarterback in NFL history has ever made. Any like high-level starter, even mid-level starter, is leading the ball upfield and Jennings is in the end zone for a touchdown on that play. They're not putting him in
I
fucking harm's way
guarantee
like
you,
that.
like there are probably 20 quarterbacks who make that touchdown pass, maybe even more.
I guarantee
Like-
you, Kirk Cousins, if he makes that throw, it's a touchdown. I guarantee it.
Jimmy G probably makes that throw.
Yep.
Like honest to God, he
Fields
probably
makes
does.
it.
Yep.
Fields makes that throw. Like
Oh, it
there-
was a
like,
clean
there's-
pocket. Fuck, Daniel Jones might
Yeah.
make that throw. It was a
Like,
clean
literally-
pocket.
Daniel
Daniel
There's
Jones
nothing.
has made throws similar to that.
let's just say this to generalize it. Every single quarterback who played a playoff game makes that throw except for Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Like this year, every single quarterback who started a playoff game probably makes
Even
that throw.
hobbled, washed, beat up Thomas Edward, Patrick
Oh,
Brady makes
Tom
that
hits
throw. Sorry, I just had to bring that up because I wanted to say his full name correctly this time.
Thomas
since I now
Edward
know his
Patrick
other-
Brady
like,
the
Yeah,
third.
now that I know he has two middle
And
names.
it's absolutely crazy to me. Yeah, like if we wanted to expand a little bit more on the Cowboy side of this
Yes.
thing, like looking at
of
where
course.
where they go from here.
They don't.
Like
Nowhere.
first of all,
They're
it's
stuck.
Yep.
I mean they seem to. It seems to me that Jerry Jones is a Mike McCarthy fan and doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. Dan Quinn, don't know if you guys saw the news, informed
He's
teams
staying.
that he's staying today, which is good for that defense.
Yes.
Like I said on Twitter, they need to fire
Yeah.
the big fella and just promote
they need
Dan
to
Quinn at this
fire Mike
point.
McCarthy. Yeah, and like. Again, like I said, I guess I'll pose this question to you guys. And besides Mike McCarthy, because I think we're all in agreement about him, where does this team go from here? Like, what do they do?
There's really nowhere they can go. They put themselves in fucking cap hell with the Dak move, which, I get it,
Dak's
you extend your
contract
quarterback.
isn't the problem.
I
It's about to
personally
be.
think
It's about to kick
No.
in. They're going to have to be...
the Zeke contract
it's
I'm not
is
saying
still
it's the
Zeke.
problem, but it's one of them. But Zeke is
Zeke
the...
contract
Yeah.
is a problem.
You didn't let me finish, damn it. I was
Because
gonna
you're
say Zeke
mentioning the
after
wrong
Dak.
guy first. Too many
Okay,
people are
whatever.
shitting all over Dak, and I will not accept
I
it.
don't have a problem with Dak. I really like Dak. I think Dak is getting way too much shit right now. It's really funny. I've had a full
I'll go into the
story arc
Dak
with
thing
Dak.
in a minute, but yeah.
Because when I was in high school, I was a full-blown Dak hater because I had a friend that was a Cowboys fan and did not shut the fuck up about Dak, and I was a top 5 quarterback, so I hated Dak. And now that everyone hates Dak, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. No. He's good. He's good at this. It's ridiculous. Like,
Mine's
the dude-
different. I hated
Oh my
Dak
God.
because I loved Tony Romo.
Okay, well,
I just
that's
liked
valid,
Romo.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
liked Romo, man. Mostly
valid.
because when he was healthy, he was genuinely great. The
He was.
issue was he couldn't stay off of his back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, like Geek brought up and like I was going to get to Zeke contract. That's the real problem here. You're paying Zeke, who is now your RB2, whether you want to admit it or not.
Nah,
is.
he's RB1
nobody-
because Tony Pollard's walking. They don't have the money to keep him.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
thing is, like,
As
even if
long
they
as
wanted to
Pollard's
trade
still
Zeke,
technically on the roster, he's RB2.
nobody's
Yeah,
taking that
nobody's-
contract.
Nobody's taking Zeke. You are stuck with him. I don't know what the dead money looks like if they try to cut him. I'm sure it's
I'll check
absurd
it.
because Jerry Jones is a fucking idiot.
It's gonna be too much.
You're stuck with Zeke, and we already saw the first wave of the problems that's going to create when they had to force out Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick. That happened last year, and if you guys remember, that was like days before every other big-name receiver got traded. They got a 5th-round pick where everyone else was getting 2 firsts or whatever the fuck the return was. The
Is it
insane
Cowboys
return people were getting.
GM? Or is it just Jerry?
Stephen Jones.
Oh, yeah, so Jerry,
So it's just Jerry,
but
yeah.
young. Yeah.
Zeke's dead cap would be
insanity.
$11.8 million.
That actually isn't horrible.
Yes,
It's not great, but it isn't horrible.
Yeah, it's
You're
not
not
ideal.
eating $12 million. You're just not.
Yeah,
You
especially
can't.
because they're not in a good cap space spot as it is. You're not going to eat an extra $12 million.
No.
Especially when you have a team that you're like going to the Cowboys are never going to enter a full rebuild. We're all aware of that. So Jerry's going to be really aggressive this offseason and try some fucking voodoo bullshit to patch up the roster a little bit. Probably go like the Saints route and restructure half of the contracts on the team and overpay some random fucking third stringer to come be their starting corner opposite Diggs, and they'll have to fix up their O line,
The
fix
Cowboys
up their D line.
aren't that bad cap space wise. They're negative
Really?
$5 million. That's it.
It's still not ideal.
Yeah, Minnesota is negative 24. The Saints are negative 58. The
Jags
Bucks are negative
30.
54. No, not according to overthecap.com.
What are they at?
Negative 22.
Oh, so just under negative 30.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Hey, it matters.
So I was rounding. No,
It
you're
matters.
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. It's still though, you're still gonna have to do some restructuring and some moving things around, and I don't know what they're playing. Like, I really don't know where you go from here with Dallas. I really don't.
You run it back and hope you're healthy. That's it. And you
Is that
hope
enough?
that you hit on another superstar in the draft. You've been damn
I was
good at
gonna
it
say,
recently.
yeah.
I don't know who you pick, though. Do you aim for the secondary? Do you aim for another edge so you can generate more pressure? Do you aim for a weapon for Dak? Because if Tony Pollard walks, you're stuck with the husk of Zeke, the husk of Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb, because Schultz is probably walking too.
Yeah.
I think depending on where...
Maybe they get weird and go Michael Mayer.
That's true. I think that their first pick...
That makes sense, but...
Depending on how the wide receivers fall in this draft...
Bajan.
I think their first pick should probably be an offensive weapon. Bajan. If they were to do...
Bajan.
Oh my god.
Bajan.
Discourse around Dallas would go crazy.
It'd be so good, though. But Bajan is so fucking good, dude.
He is. You're not wrong. It's just the idea of taking your running back when you have to fix half your rosters.
Yeah, but it's not just a running back. I
know, but it is a running back.
My comp for him is David Johnson. Like 2016 best running back in the league, better at the dual threat running back than Christian McCaffrey.
Listen,
David Johnson.
We're not denying that Bijan is going to be a superstar. I just don't think they're in a position to be taking a running back.
Without Tony Pollard, he'd automatically be your second best receiver and your best running back. That is 2 weapons for the price of 1.
I would be okay with them taking him late, but if they reach on him in the first round when there's other needs to be filled on that, I think that's stupid.
I don't know.
Bajan's going in the first round. You can't take him outside of that.
Dallas. So Dallas won't be getting him because there's no way. I mean, Jerry Jones is a moron. Mike McCarthy's a moron. We know this.
Yeah, listen. Realistically, Dallas is just crazy enough to try it.
When Dallas picks Bajan,
this is what's going to happen.
I'm going to lord over everyone.
I don't think it's. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's the right idea. It's not what I would do, but I do think Jerry's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah. This is what's going to happen. They'll be sitting in the draft room, and Jerry Jones will walk in, and he'll be like, who are we thinking? They're like, we got a few guys in this Bijan Robinson kid. And Jerry Jones will be like, oh, where he go to school? And they'll say Texas. He'll go, he's from Texas. He's from Texas? They're like, yeah. And they're like, bring him
cowboy
in.
To me.
Bring him in. And then he'll go on. And then he'll go on an interview. He'll be like, "Yeah, we gotta keep the hometown."
We had to get somebody to replace that Deke fella, so we went out and got ourselves a real Texan.
Jerry, you only lost Tony Pollard.
The fuck's a Pollard?
Next question.
Fuck's a Pollard. Fuck you, Tony.
By this pick, I'm really proud of it. Oh my god!
The issue is it would work because Bajan's gonna be really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't doubt that he's gonna be really good. It's just, I don't know. The fucking run freak in me is like, yes.
See, I'm just thinking of it how I thought of it last year. If I were to base it right now, Bajan would be on my big board in the top 5. Like, he is incredible.
I haven't actually watched this tape on him to fully grasp the greatness of Bijan Robinson.
My comparison to him is
go ahead.
Rookie year Saquon.
Interesting. Did you?
Comp.
Were you? The age difference here, and when you guys got into football, did you guys watch David Johnson? Like you saw that, right? That's Bijan.
He was on my fantasy team that year.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like good running back, absolutely incredible receiver.
So what you're saying is he's going to be washed in like 3 years and then get traded along with a bag of chips
I'm talking about. I'm talking.
Receiver.
Well, I mean, maybe, but
that's the long con for Dallas. Big brain.
They're going to trade him for. No, because when Dallas, because when Dallas fleeces a team in a trade using a running back, it's Minnesota. So no, anyone else pick Bijan, please.
Hey.
Heard it here first, folks. 4 years from now, when Justin Jefferson is a Dallas Cowboy.
Cook. Yeah, when Justin Jefferson's wearing the blue star in his helmet.
No,
just start calling him
I'm calling it
now.
now. I actually think there's a very high chance Minnesota takes Bijan at 24. I really do.
If he's there, it wouldn't surprise me. If Cook's gone,
right? Cook and Madison are going to be gone. Like.
Oh, yeah, Madison's a free agent, isn't he?
Yeah, so when they're both gone, we're going to need a guy.
That's true.
Bijan is a guy.
No.
Bijan's good, but
no, you won't. I got something for you.
Oh God, what do you got?
I got something for you. Keep talking. I'll send it in the chat.
A couple of things. First of all, don't think Bijan falls to 24. Second of all, I think that if Anthony Richardson is there, they should take Anthony Richardson.
Yes, 100%. He will not be, though. He's going to go in the top 10.
If one of the top 5 quarterbacks is left in this class, which is a good chance.
I mean, there's a shot guys fall. It's been a thing.
I think Anthony Richardson could definitely fall.
I don't.
Right.
He's going to be.
Teams think of him.
He's going to be viewed as the best prospect in this class. I promise.
Q Hunter.
I got the solution.
North Dakota.
Your running back woes.
Here comes Hunter
Lepke, first of all. And second of all, no, he's a fullback. We will not be transitioning him to halfback. Thank you very much.
Maybe I will.
This is your halfback of the future.
Oh, Ty Chandler. Okay.
UNC legend Ty Chandler, baby. That's your man.
A lot of build up for Ty Chandler.
Kenny Nwangwu. He's faster, so he's better.
Hey, by the way, Madden says his name differently. I don't know if you've noticed that, so I think you're wrong.
You're gonna trust the fucking idiots who work at Madden over me.
To be fair, Geek, you have openly admitted to being...
I think you're disrespecting Kene Nwangwu.
To be fair, Geek,
his name.
You have openly admitted on multiple podcast episodes that you are terrible at pronouncing names, so I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he's like studied Kene's name though,
yeah,
just so he can say it right because of how much he talks about him.
I love me some Kene Nwangwu. He's great.
But Madden says it's Nwangwu.
But
so.
see, Paul Allen, the Vikings broadcaster, who is also known to mess up names, so it doesn't carry that much weight. I love Paul Allen.
Here,
no, Paul Allen calls him Kene Nwangwu. He leaves out the N at the beginning of his name.
Interesting. Okay,
I don't feel like that's
teams
right.
Be talking about?
Well, we
hey,
do.
the Vikings are a playoff team, bitch. I know you wouldn't know what that's like. The Bears don't make those, but it's okay.
Anyways,
not anymore.
So yeah, Cowboys are kind of in the shitter.
Oh, dude, they're so fucked.
Zeroing in on them in this game, in this game specifically. I mean, talk about their future a little bit, but also just like Dak. I mean, I like Dak, but I think that people are a little too like, oh, it's Dak, whatever. He played a bad game. We can admit that.
He did have a bad game.
We can admit that while also saying that he's a top 12 quarterback still.
Yeah, listen, Dak had a bad game, but at the end of the day, his play style. All right, no, we're sure, okay. Just talking about Dak, he's an aggressive quarterback with a strong arm. His play style lends itself to risky plays against defenses with a good secondary. It happens. So, like, he had a bad game. I'm not trying to tell you he didn't. It's just, I don't think this game is enough to be like, well, Dak sucks. I just think it was a very real possibility with how he plays. Now, I'm sure Geek is going to be like, well, the fact that he turned the ball over a lot is a bad thing. No, okay, never mind, go ahead.
Okay, so no, I mentioned this on my podcast earlier. Josh Allen and Dak Prescott have the same problem. They have too much of the Brett Favre gene in them. Not the shitty human part of Brett Favre, the football player part of Brett Favre. They have too much of the gunslinger in them. They can make every throw, so they try it. And you live by the gunslinger. He might win you a Super Bowl. He might win you 4, but you're also going to die by it. And that's what happened this game. Yeah. You died by it. If one of those passes goes a different way and fits into the window he was trying to make it, you win the game, and everyone talks about how great Dak is. That's the problem with gunslingers, but that's why we love them. Because they're incredible.
Right, yeah.
And they're incredibly bad at the same time.
I agree 100%. It's like Geek said, it's just how they play. It's just his mentality, his ability. It can be great, it can be really bad, but after one game, we're not going to say he sucks, okay? Nope. Nobody's saying Josh Allen sucks, which, granted, there's obviously a bit of a gap between the two of them, but not enough for one to be shitty and one to be like, well, he's still a top 5 guy, just maybe not the best anymore, or not the second best anymore.
Hey, at least Dak is still the best Dak Prescott in football. There is no better Dak Prescott. There is a better Josh Allen, though.
Oh, I was going to say, is there another Dakota Prescott?
No, that was my point. He's still the best Dak Prescott.
I got you.
Josh Allen is no longer the best Josh Allen.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like Mike McCarthy, like, 4th down call, stupid. I'm sure a lateral play wouldn't have worked much better, but having Zeke at center and doing all the random stuff they did on that play, having the lineman out wide, I mean, it's just so unserious, man.
So here's what I think was supposed to happen. Okay, I think Zeke was not expecting to have to block anyone. I think Zeke was supposed to run a route. I genuinely do. And that's why you see him after he snaps it. He stands up and he doesn't go directly into blocking position. It looks like he's about to sprint out. But then he sees homie running at him and he goes, oh, fuck, and gets blown up.
Linebacker.
Because
I
think Zeke was the primary read on that play. Look at that side of the field. The 2 best blockers are on the right side of the field with no other receiver. I think Zeke was supposed to bounce out, get the ball, and follow Tyron Smith and Zach Martin to the end zone.
Probably why
possible.
Yeah, but also any defensive coordinator with a good head on his shoulders is going to see Zeke at center and say, rush him.
Right. But that's the bigger issue for the Cowboys. It wasn't the play call. It's that you called that play, lined up with it. The Niners called a timeout, changed their personnel, and planned for it, and you called it again. That was the problem.
That is true.
Also,
again, a good head coach is just going to change what he's doing.
Right. Speaking of Zeke, okay, I've posted about this on TikTok. I've tweeted about it.
I know, and you're wrong.
I need to say it here. Zeke wouldn't make a good fullback.
Zeke is the best blocking running back in football. He's a better blocker than 90% of fullbacks. And you know that.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That is not true. That is bullshit.
It's not.
That's pretty ridiculous.
It's not.
90%?
You guys haven't. Yes, you guys have not watched Zeke in the passing game enough, apparently, because I have.
I'm fully aware he's a good pass blocker. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying he's not built to be a fucking fullback. He's not. He doesn't.
No, but you argued he's not a good blocker, and you tried to say that snap was the reason why, and you're a fucking moron for that one.
If you watch the full video at the very end, there's a little text box that says, I'm fully aware he's a good blocker. I just saw this opportunity and wanted to take it.
I didn't see the text box.
You fucking idiot. I covered my bases.
Right, because you knew what you were saying was incorrect and stupid.
No.
You did.
No. It wasn't incorrect and stupid. I just argued that basically the point of the argument was Zeke doesn't have that dog in him. He couldn't rise to the occasion.
I don't know if that's
fullbacks have that dog in him.
This dude didn't even slow him down. He just got leveled.
He did. He took him to the ground with him. That's all you got to do. Cool.
He got destroyed.
Did that defender get anywhere close to Dak?
Yes.
No. Because he was
did.
laying on top of Zeke. Cool, you knocked him over. You fell to the ground too. Cool, you won, but you lost. He did not win that rep. Technically, Zeke did.
I'm not giving him a win for it either. That's a draw.
Okay. You're trying to give him an L. Yeah. You're trying to give him an L, and I'm not accepting that.
I'm just trying to say Cowboys fans need to shut up and stop calling him a fullback.
I'm not going to try to argue he's a fullback, but he is the best. He might be the best blocking running back in the game. I
don't disagree with that, but that doesn't mean he's a fullback. There's more to it than just blocking in the pass game.
Are you sure?
There's a whole lot more to it. Yes.
I don't know. You'd say Patrick Ricard is the second best fullback just because he can block. He can't do anything else.
I said blocking in the pass game. I didn't say blocking, period. I said blocking in the pass game specifically.
Get it, Miller. You're just biased. We get it. We get it.
CJ Ham could play for literally any other team and he wouldn't be higher than Ricard.
You're wrong. Oh my God. So you've literally acknowledged like last week that he's the better fullback. He's just not used properly. So now you're just making things up again.
That's fucking with you.
I hate it.
I am fucking with you.
It's okay. CJ Ham's probably on a different team next year anyways. I'm not even kidding.
No, listen,
we're going to cut him because his cap hit is $4 million and Quessie's going to say that's too much.
Probably.
Which, based off of his usage, it really is. $4 million for a guy who's playing less than 10% of the snaps. That is a valid argument. I don't like it. I love CJ Ham.
He's playing less than 10%, is he?
I think it was like 10.4 or something. He was not on the field enough.
I was going to say, he is at 14.47%.
Really?
Yeah.
All time or this year, though?
Because I was arguing with someone. This year.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah.
That does not sound right.
I looked it up last night, I promise.
I'm looking it up now.
On lineups.com.
Hate CJ Ham because I was playing Madden Mobile earlier. And I was playing as the Packers, as I do, and I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and I was in a really tight game with the Vikings, and they, for some reason, decided to go for 2 on their last touchdown. They pulled a John Harbaugh on me, and CJ Ham caught the pass, and he was wide open and scored, and I got super mad.
CJ Ham, the GOAT, the Ham
God. Listen.
So now I'm pushing CJ Ham isn't even top 5 narratives, even though I have no basis.
Shut up.
You're on drugs.
Shut up.
I'll kill you.
You're wrong.
Listen, I don't care enough about fullbacks to clear the air. Narratives.
Just to clear the air, so I'm not pissing you off. Like, to actually clear the air, I do think CJ Ham is more talented. It's just the usage problem. It's the only thing holding him back.
That part's valid. I just didn't. I don't agree with you.
If he was used properly. Well, and I mean, that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to be upset if you have one over the other. I know all the Ricard fans hate me now because I'm suggesting there's a chance he's the 4th best fullback in the game now.
Because there is.
I mean, it's
because
possible.
If you put CJ Ham, I think my other argument, it's been my favorite, CJ Ham would be the best replacement for Kyle Juszczyk in Shanahan's offense. Out of any fullback in the league currently, he'd be the best replacement.
And I don't disagree with that.
You don't, or you do?
I would say I said I don't disagree with that, but I will say the only counter to that would be Alec Ingold's been playing in a similar system, so he might adjust quicker. So
but
can make
Ham's
that argument. But I do think if you just want to go talent, comparison of talent and ability, absolutely Ham would be. Yeah. No, like. Genuinely speaking, Ham's fucking awesome. I love CJ Ham. I don't actually hate him like people think I do. It's just he's not someone that I bring up a lot because of the lack of usage.
Yeah.
Because if I want to talk about usage, like just looking at the numbers in front of me here, Pat Ricard, 63.69% of offensive snaps. Where's Juszczyk? Juszczyk is at 47.45%. Ingold's at 39.55%. Like, those guys are getting used more.
Yeah.
So if I'm pushing narratives and agendas, they're easier to use because somebody can't be like, well, he only played 10% of snaps, because they didn't.
Right.
But if we're going off pure, unfiltered talent and ability, Ham is that fucking guy.
That's normally my goal when ranking people. I just go by ability.
I mean,
normally.
And that's fair.
But
that's fair. it's just with fullbacks the way they're used now. I feel like you kind of have to factor usage into it. Like,
But that's
just
my
out of
point. We've
curiosity,
seen Ham before with better usage.
right?
That's the difference.
It's fair, but that's also been a while back now.
Last
and
year's
I
a
don't
while
wanna
back. I don't know what it was last year.
Really? What was this?
I don't know.
I was gonna say, what
I
was the
cannot
snap count
find
last
it
year, 'cause I
on
didn't
his
think they were that
fucking.
high.
I cannot find it on Pro Football
Try going to Pro
Reference right
Football
now.
Reference. They usually.
Yeah, I see it by per game, not by, which might have been what you looked
If you go
at.
to,
Because when I scroll
No, I
down to his
definitely didn't look
career
at per
stats,
game.
there is no snap percentage at all.
I looked up Vikings 2022 snap percentage, and it had every player listed.
Okay.
That's why, yeah. But just out of curiosity, just since we're on this tangent, and I know we've completely gone off the rails, what fullback do you think had the lowest usage in the league this year? Of all of the guys that
Was it
started at
CJ
fullback.
Ham?
It was not. No, there
Okay.
were quite a few guys under Ham, actually, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
This year?
This year, who do you
Is
think
it
it
an
was?
actual fullback?
'Cause it's an actual fullback, and this percentage is abysmal.
CJ Ham was used 33% of plays last year.
Is it Adam Prentice?
Last year, okay. No, it was not Adam Prentice.
Is it? Oh, is it Xander Horvath?
No, it was not Xander Horvath.
Oh, was it Giovanni? Our
It was
boy?
not Giovanni Ricci, unfortunately.
Is
It was
it-
not. Ricci was actually used more than Ham.
What division
Ew.
are they in? Give us that. What division?
16.04%. NFC East. There's only. Are there two fullbacks in that position?
Do the Cowboys have a fullback? I don't
No, the Cowboys
think
don't
so.
have one.
Was it Alex
Technically,
Arma?
There's only one. Yes,
Wow.
Alex Arma. How? What do you think his percentages? If you had to take a wild guess,
0.3.
0.34%.
Wow. Good call. Good call, Jakey
I
boy.
would say that would
Yeah.
be it.
CJ Ham has
0.34%,
been
his
over
usage.
33% basically every year until this year. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Oh, that's not
AFC
true.
fullback.
2018, 13.23.
Maybe I should
Maybe.
see. Maybe I need to go back on my Ricard comments then. I didn't realize it was getting used like that. Maybe I let recency bias get the best of me.
Probably.
Fortunately,
You just don't
It
like
is-
KOC because of that hate. We got to get back on topic. Oh my
It's
fuck.
absolutely
Yeah.
astounding to me that in all 3 episodes of the show, we have somehow ended up in the Ham versus Ricard debate. It happens without fail every single
And the
time.
funny thing is, me and Geek agree on it.
And that leads to a fullback tangent. I don't. It's
Oh, no.
bound to happen. But yeah,
Yikes.
I think we pretty much said what we can say about the Cowboys and Niners.
Oh, yeah, that's who we were talking about.
I think we've said.
I mean,
I think we've said
just
Shanahan good,
and just
McCarthy
for the
bad.
sake of time, I just want to say, like, if you want to go in and just cut that chunk out, you're more than welcome.
I'm not
to.
gonna.
I don't know.
That's
Okay,
too
I
much
don't know what
work.
the difficulty is on editing. Okay, fair. I'm just saying, like, if we really need to cut time, you're more than welcome to just.
I mean,
No.
we're halfway through the divisional
Oh,
game.
yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're not even
Okay, okay.
technically halfway through the episode yet, so we're good.
We're not even to an
What
hour
are we
yet.
at?
No.
time-wise?
We are only at 52 minutes.
Good.
So
All right, let's roll.
Oh,
we're
okay.
chilling.
All right.
we're
let's get rolling.
we're on a better track than we have been the last 2 weeks. We're
Yeah.
doing great.
Cowboys, Niners. Any other big thoughts, takeaways? No. Yes. Maybe so. Yeah, I said that in the wrong order, but
Dak's
I just
still
wanna
good.
point out,
Brock
like-
Purdy bad.
that good, pretty bad. Shanahan good.
Just
McCarthy
want to
bad.
say, I have my notes for all of the games here. And my number one note for the Niners is Brock Purdy dick riding bad.
Yes.
we've been over that.
Yes. You
I'm
went
just
in
saying,
on
I
that.
thought it was
We're
funny
good.
that you. No, I'm just saying I thought it was funny that you went to Dak
Yeah.
good, Purdy bad, and my note was Brock Purdy dick riding bad.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I just realized my mother is like 10 feet away from me, and she just heard me say that phrase twice. Anyways, continuing.
Good job.
Jumping right over to the AFC, I guess we'll go with the game that happened first. Jags Chiefs. I understand that Mahomes was hurt, but Jags hung in there for what it's worth. And this is something that I talked about on TikTok, and I kind of want to bring this take to light here. I think Trevor Lawrence played a average solid QB game. And I think that the reason that they so lost is because you cannot play a solid average QB game if Mahomes is on the other side of the field, if your roster is not elite around you, and if your defense isn't good. And the Jags defense is okay. Like if you're going to beat Mahomes with a solid average QB performance, the roster around you has to be elite. Okay, and I mean, in my opinion, like the pick wasn't his fault. I think that was just a great play by the defender. He could have maybe put some more airtime under it. Whatever.
More airtime, he wouldn't have made the completion. It would have been out of bounds and an incomplete pass. Like he
Mahomes,
put that ball where it had to be. I think it was L'Jarius Sneed. I think it was. I might be wrong.
I'm not sure.
I'm double checking.
Chiefs.
No, it was Jalen Watson. I don't know who the fuck that is, but okay.
He's been dope.
You don't know who he is? He had the big
dope
pick six
this year,
against the Chargers, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was the Thursday night football game. He had a big
I don't know
pick
why,
six.
but I don't
It was like a
recognize
sixth round
that name.
pick.
But yeah,
that interception was just incredible. Yeah.
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 And like it's just crazy to me that Mahomes can do it. I mean, high ankle sprain, bro. That put Tony Pollard out for the game. That puts guys out for multiple weeks, and this dude is out there.
Well, it's a little bit different with Pollard because he's a running back.
Right.
He has to use his ankle every play.
Yeah,
Mahomes can get away with pocket passing.
Mahomes can get away with pocket passing, but he didn't.
I'm just saying, you couldn't think of a quarterback that dealt with a high ankle sprain that had to sit.
I can't remember the last quarterback who had a high ankle sprain.
Jake, I'm just nitpicking. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm confused. Anyway, Mahomes. It's not even like Mahomes was a pocket passer after the injury. Like the dude was still
he was still moving.
He was still hopping around, throwing passes from different arm angles. I mean, I will say, if Chris Collinsworth gets another Chiefs game, I might just mute it because he is ridiculous. I know Mahomes is good, but like. I hate it. Anyway,
that's not even the worst one. Have you heard Romo about Josh Allen? Oh my god!
Yeah, listen, I would much rather listen to Collinsworth than Romo.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I mean that's about all I have to say. It's just like, we saw it coming. The Chiefs are just a better team, and like, the Jags barely came back against the Chargers. They did, and that was a very good performance by them. But Doug Peterson's a good coach, but he's not as good of a coach as Andy Reid. And I mean, I still think the Chiefs are more talented, even though like the Jags have a decently talented roster. But yeah.
See,
I don't know.
I would listen. I'm pro Mahomes. I'm pro Chiefs, right? I'm not one of these haters. It's like I want to see something different. I'm okay with the Chiefs winning. I like the Chiefs. I made a whole TikTok talking about how when the Chiefs win, it's great because that makes Paul Rudd happy, and who doesn't want to see Paul Rudd happy? But this game wasn't the result of like the Chiefs just outmatched.
Are you still there?
No.
Okay.
Shitties for the Jaguars
That's on
and
his
anything.
end. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
You got to
okay.
restart. You completely froze.
Okay, so I said I'm not like a Chiefs hater or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Chiefs. I like when the Chiefs win because that makes Paul Rudd happy.
Yes.
And in my opinion, that's a great thing. But I don't feel like this was like Jake said, the Chiefs just being the better football team. I think this was more of a missed opportunities game for the Jaguars. Because we look at the Christian Kirk ball that got dropped that would have been huge for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then we bring up the injury and how Jacksonville really could have capitalized on that and started bringing the heat to Mahomes and forced him to try to move around on his leg a lot more than he had to. And, eventually, like, I'm not advocating for hurting somebody, but when you have a hobbled quarterback, you obviously want to try to get to him a little bit more.
Well, as a
That's
front
just football.
seven, when you smell blood in the water, you're supposed to attack like a shark. And the Jags
didn't
not
do it. Yeah. I really think there is the Jaguars had a legitimate shot in this game all throughout. Like you said, it took a couple missed opportunities and a superhero interception from a 6th round pick for the Chiefs to beat the Jaguars. It was just a lot, like I said, just a lot of missed opportunities. And, like I said, I don't have a problem with it, but I know a lot of people are really disappointed by it.
I stand by the idea that if they had Calvin Ridley, they win that game.
I don't disagree with that. Ridley makes that catch.
Yep.
And that also wasn't an overthrown football by Trevor Lawrence.
Which
No,
Collinsworth
it
said it was because he's dumb, apparently.
Yeah. He was like,
that one was
ball
weird.
wasn't overthrown. You missed those
Listen, I'm a
opportunities.
Collinsworth defender. That was a miss.
Yeah.
That was a missed call. That was a bad call.
Like, that was a
Christian Kirk
perfect
like
throw.
Mahomes basically fumbling the ball.
That also isn't
Mahomes,
I mean, that also isn't like a thing that like you expect that of Christian Kirk, because Christian Kirk's like was genuinely solid this year.
Yeah.
So when you see
nice.
even if that was an overthrow, that's usually a catch that Christian Kirk is gonna make. Like that could have changed the momentum of the thing, but things just didn't break their way, and that's what had to happen against the Chiefs. I mean, even if they were pretty on par talent wise, and the coaching gap wasn't like huge, and so it's basically just who's gonna get things to break their way. Like the pick and the dropped pass that would have set them up in inside the 10-yard line. I mean, those things go their way, they might win this football game, and like they still almost came back and won it again. So
the Jaguars really just gotta hope for development from all their guys, because they cannot make any moves to improve.
They also say it's going to be a really quiet offseason.
They also have to hope that Calvin Ridley is still the same Calvin Ridley when he comes back.
I think he'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure
Ridley was their big move for the offseason. They just made it at the trade deadline, and it's going under the radar until the offseason. Because they're not going to get to see him play.
Find it such bullshit that he was suspended for the entire year, dude.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Dude,
if he had come back after the deadline,
right?
Oh man,
my biggest issue with it was, you're really gonna suspend the guy for betting on the Falcons, his own team, to win, when he was not part of the team. That's where I get the biggest issue. It's not like he was injured or whatever. No, he stepped away from the team. He had basically retired. The team just still owned his rights. Are you trying to tell me Calvin Johnson can't sports bet? The Lions still own his rights, but he's not a player. That's what Calvin Ridley was. He left the team.
The worst part about it is him getting suspended longer than
anyone for anything. Like,
right?
Nobody misses a year.
Yeah. The only guys who missed a year are the gambler and the stoner.
They accused Brady of cheating, and they only gave him 4 games.
He missed 4.
Like, what?
Yeah, and I think it's just like, I don't know, like it's painful to think about the fact that even if he hadn't gotten traded, it's still unfair that he got suspended for a year. But just thinking about like the impact he would have had on that Jags team if he had come back week 10 or so, they would have been they probably would have had the playoffs clinched a lot sooner than they did.
If they had Calvin Ridley, they might be my Super Bowl favorite right now. I'm not even kidding, because I love Trevor Lawrence. Too much.
Calvin Ridley would have diced that Chiefs secondary. I promise you he would have.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, then it's the same thing with like the Bengals. Do they have anybody who can cover a guy like Calvin Ridley? Maybe a little bit, but maybe more so than the Chiefs do.
Yes.
Yeah, but they have a great safety duo. You know this anyway. I mean, like, I think that they seriously could have made a run at things. It's just, things just didn't break their way this year. And I'm sure they will. And I'm sure, like, they're going to be back. Like, that division is theirs for the next, I don't even know how long. The Titans are in a bad spot. The Colts are always in a bad spot. The Texans
The Colts are about to extend Jeff Saturday.
Yeah. So
there's no way.
That division.
Did you not see the report that came out about Irsay today?
I've been seeing lots of reports. But there's no fucking way, dude. There's just
he's crazy enough to do it. I'm telling you, he's crazy enough to do it.
Literally isn't sitting in on any other coach interviews. Hasn't sat on a single one outside of outside of Saturdays.
There's no way that's true, right? He's literally tweeted every time that he's completed an interview. So is he just not?
When his people are completing it. Basically,
are we really buying into a singular report from some who reported it? Is it somebody who actually knows anything?
I think, in my humble opinion, they should not hire Jeff Saturday.
No, I agree.
But
it looks like they're going to.
Yeah, and like, I don't know who else they're interviewing or who else they're scheduled to interview. I know Dan Quinn was one of them, but he's staying with the Cowboys. I think I don't know, man. Like,
right, here, let me read these reports off the Geek.
I'm reading it right now. I'm reading it right now.
Needless to say, this is the Jags division for the foreseeable future. And I mean, we talked about the Chiefs side of this a little bit, and
Titans next year when Malik Willis becomes the best quarterback in football.
You would say that.
Malik's
After
a great
bashing the
dude. I hope
Titans
he's
all
great.
Season.
Yeah, I've been bashing the Titans all year, but like, man, I
Bro's
want
gonna pull a
Malik to be
complete
great.
180.
I want
I'm
Malik
sure-
to be great. That's it. That's all I care about. I want Malik to be
mean,
great. I
Won't
wanted
happen
us to
next year
draft
if
him
it
instead of Ed
happens,
Ingram.
so,
I wanted us to use
here we
that
are.
pick for Willis. Would have been better.
And-
Malik Willis wouldn't have been stepping on Kirk's feet. Sorry.
And
Back-
also isn't a bad person.
Yes.
That's valid.
Yeah, but like, looking at the Chiefs' perspective of this thing, they took care of business. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. I mean, the Jags, they really came down to the Jags not having any the defensive personnel to run with Travis Kelce. I mean,
which you just hope that Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma develop enough to be able to do it next year. That's what
because
you're banking on.
If you don't have the guys to run with Travis Kelce, you have to have the offensive firepower to match it. And
Right. Like, genuinely speaking, what did the Jaguars do this offseason? Because obviously they don't have a ton of money. So what... Okay, let me put it this way. What position groups do you think they need to adjust through the draft or maybe some cheap free agents? Offensive line, definitely.
Secondary could always help.
Corners are awful.
They're going to have to go get a new tight end.
They're going to have to go get a corner.
Yeah, Evan Ingram's probably gone.
Yeah, they can't afford to bring him back.
He was
legit
this year.
Honestly, if I'm the Jags, I consider Michael Mayer in the first round.
I
really do.
He's a tight end. I'm not sure if he's going to fall to the. I'm not sure if he's going to go in the first round. They might be able to get him. I'm saying they're going to be able to get him later. I don't dislike the Mayer Jacksonville thing, but I think they can get him later than the first. They're
lots of tight ends go in the first round. So, and that's the other thing. You have that pick. Didn't they? What did they trade for Ridley? Was it their second rounder?
It wasn't the first.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I gotta Google it real quick.
They have their first.
Yeah.
I know that.
I think they have their second because I saw a mock draft recently where they took a corner in the first and second round, which also isn't a terrible idea.
So, I mean, it was a second, but it's not this year. 2023 fifth and a 2024 second, which is conditional upon Ridley's reinstatement.
And they fleeced the Falcons.
Okay.
No, because Ridley was walking either way.
Oh, okay.
The Falcons went the route of we get something out of him instead of letting him walk for free. The route Minnesota's about to take with half their roster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, essentially, it's draft well and hope that the guys who need to develop. Those are the two big things.
Yeah.
I mean, they really can't do much in free agency because they have no money. But if they
negative $22 million,
absolutely no money to spend, and so they're a team that I also kind of.
Oh no, Geek's got something cooking.
No, it's just that Jacksonville tax, man. It's so bad for them.
I also just kind of like I said with the Giants, although this might be more true of the Jags than the Giants. I don't see a path to them getting much worse. I mean, if they were to lose some really key guys in free agency, which I don't know who's an upcoming free agent for them besides Evan Ingram, but
right tackle Taylor.
Yeah, they would have to,
Ingram.
My opinion might change after the draft, but they would have to royally screw up this offseason for me to really project regression from them. I think this is a 10-11 win team next year.
Marvin Jones, Arden Key.
Arden Key's actually okay.
Andrew Wingard.
Notable.
That Jamichael Hasty.
Jags fans hate Wingard anyways.
They can
bastards.
Jamichael Hasty.
Wyoming legend Andrew Wingard deserves your respect. Damn it.
All right. Either way, I mean, like Jake said, I don't see the Jaguars getting much worse next year. I think they're in a pretty good spot.
I mean, I don't think we talk about the Chiefs. Where are they going to go from here? Because they've stolen the playoff.
Why don't we wait to talk about the Chiefs so we can circle back to them when we talk about the championship games?
Let's just talk about the Bills. Yeah. Real quick, though. Jawan Taylor, the right tackle, let him walk. You drafted Walker Little to replace him 2 years ago. Fuck him. Put the rookie in. At this point, he's basically a rookie.
I'm pretty sure Walker Little
Jawan Taylor's not that good.
Walker Little also.
I want anyone not named Larry Borum. I will take anything.
It might be a downgrade.
Because
Impossible.
they put Walker
I couldn't play
Little.
right tackle better than Larry Borum.
I think the Walker Little thing is a good idea because Walker Little played some seriously good reps against Joey Bosa when they put him outside against him in the Chargers game. So I wouldn't hate that. But yeah, move it on to the Bills getting just manhandled at home. I mean, a lot of factors go into this thing, but I think the bottom line is Joe Burrow just was the better quarterback and currently is the better quarterback in my opinion, in my rankings.
That's not even what I'm.
But I mean, I really think that this came, like I said, a lot of factors played into this thing. The Bills let them run the ball, which is something the Bengals haven't done this year very effectively. They didn't even have to move the ball down the field as much as we were expecting them to, just make those deep throws. I mean, I don't know. It's just Buffalo was another team where it's how do they get better? I mean, they played themselves into a hole with the Von Miller contract. They're not that good. I don't have the cap numbers pulled up, but I'm assuming it's not great. I mean, I don't really.
They're in hell. They're bad.
I don't really get where they go from here, and it's yeah, Josh Allen's great, but how do they get over the hump? I don't know. And this game was kind of the game where they could have, and they didn't. So yeah.
Well, the big thing right now is they played this game with half of their defense at best.
Sure.
Their secondary is torched. Even Trey White, coming off his ACL, just hasn't been a good corner. He was out there, but he's not Trey White right now. He is the husk of Trey White at this point. They were down, I think, 4 safeties at this point. Their defensive line was beat up. Daquan Jones, their only relevant run stopper, got hurt early, which is why the Bengals were just able to maul them in the run game. I mean, they were beating them on double teams. They couldn't, or rather, the Bills couldn't beat the double teams. They were getting absolutely blown off the ball. It was a mess in the trenches, and then their secondary couldn't keep up because everybody's banged up. The only truly healthy unit the Bills had this week was their linebacker core. Granted, their linebackers are good.
And the receivers.
It's just. Well, I mean, defensively.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Their linebacker core is really good. Edmonds took a big leap. Matt Milano's great. We've talked about them already on previous episodes. But
really slow, too.
So for that, I think it's the same thing that happened to Minnesota in the Green Bay game. For whatever reason, they were wearing the wrong cleats. That's what happened to Minnesota. That's why they couldn't stay up. That's why nobody could run a route. They wore the wrong cleats and it burned them.
You'd have to expect that the Bills would be ready for this. This is Buffalo. I mean, that's weird to me.
Sorry, they went up
think
against
about the history
Burrow.
of Buffalo. Oh my God! Stop with the stupid nicknames for Joe Burrow.
I like Snow Burrow. I like that one.
And you like Joe Shiesty, and you like
Burrowhead.
Burrowhead.
I like Joe
Burrowhead's
Burrow.
funny
He's a
as
fun
shit.
fella.
Yes, but he doesn't need a new nickname every week. It's
Yes,
fine.
he does. He's a special little guy, and he deserves nicknames.
God damn it.
Hey, just
finish
be
your
glad
point.
I'm not the one giving him nicknames, because
Finish
we
your
all know
point.
my nicknames I give are bad, like Cut Cousins. Anyways, I kind of finished my point. It was just their defense was really fucking banged up, and the Bengals were able to take full advantage of it, both on the ground and through the air. It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I just man, the Bills' offense is just super underwhelming. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but we talked about how the Bengals were the best AFC defense remaining, and that still stands. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, Stephon Diggs was not a happy camper, and it's kind of the same thing that happened towards his time with Minnesota. It's just he just kind of got fed up with losing. So who knows?
Diggs to Chicago, baby.
Yeah,
he's fed up with losing. Why does he want to go to a perennial loser?
He'll get over the losing hump.
Because Justin Fields is fun.
So was Josh Allen. That doesn't seem to have fixed anything.
Money.
He's making money.
Give him more money.
Give him more money. That's a Bears answer this offseason.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You guys thought the Christian Kirk contract was bad. We're giving Diggs $45 million a year.
Oh
my God. DJ
Realistically,
Chark's
it's
about to
probably
get
gonna be DJ
25.
Chark.
Oh
Bears
my
reception
god.
for DJ Chark.
Dude,
DJ Chark's getting 25. Deron Payne's getting 100 milli.
DJ Chark getting
one of the
25
linebackers
means
is
the
getting-
Vikings have to give Jefferson $55 million a year.
That is big brain by
And then he'll
Poles.
walk, so.
That's the plan.
He won't walk. He's not walking.
The Vikings will just be in cap hell for a receiver.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
Oh, that's happening. And I'm perfectly okay
Yeah.
with it. Fuck it.
Speaking of being.
Anyways,
being
No,
bad
back
can
about
I
Campbell.
have my
receivers,
turn talking about the Bills? Fuck.
Let
We
Geek do
skipped
his
over
thing,
me
Jake.
on the Giants already. I'd like to talk about the Bills. Because I'd like
so
to bring
bad
up
for the Vikings.
I'm sorry.
their Super Bowl window is over. It's
Yeah.
done. No,
I wish they had one. It was a good run.
I don't think that's the
Is that
good way to
supposed be
look
a
at
slight
it.
at him? Your team doesn't have one.
None of our teams have a Super Bowl window.
Right.
What are we?
That was
No.
my point.
I
I thought he was
saying-
taking a shot at
No,
you.
No,
I
he
was-
said
I was
at
saying
least
he's
they
the
had
one.
one. I think he
I
was
was
just saying
saying
like we all don't
most
know what
teams
that's like.
don't.
Okay, well, no,
Uh,
I thought at least they had one was a shot at the Vikings, so I was like, yours
You can
hasn't
take-
had one
you
either.
can take it as such. No, we don't. We haven't had it since
Um,
2010.
No, but like the Von Miller contract is going to age horribly because even if he comes back and is Von Miller, it won't matter. There are no other pass rushers or even guys in the front seven. You're going to lose Tremaine Edmonds, who might have been better than Matt Milano this year. Matt Milano is 33, I believe. I'm going to double check that because I feel like as soon as I said that, it sounded wrong.
Yep.
While you say that, Edmonds
Yes.
to Chicago. Book it.
No, both Edmonds are going to Minnesota to replace Harrison Smith and Eric Kendricks. Book
You
it.
have no money.
We will when we get rid of Eric Kendricks and
We have
Harrison
more
Smith.
money. We have more.
Yeah, don't worry. The Bears are about to trade the #1 overall pick for Dalvin Cook, Harrison Smith, and Eric Kendricks. It'll be great.
Or the Vikings will select Keely Ringo.
Yes, we're taking him 1 overall. Yes, we could have got him at 23.
Had to make sure.
Yeah,
The
had
Vikings
to make
will
sure.
select Michael Mayer.
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
would select the best QB in this draft. We'd take Max Dugan 1 overall.
No,
Yes.
you would take.
Will Levis,
Lukey?
sorry. It's not Will Levis.
No, it's Lepke, first of all.
Is it?
Lepke.
It's Lepke.
I'm going to
Hunter
believe
Lepke.
you're you. But, sorry, back to what matters.
You're going to take Monty Potenbaum,
Who?
Iowa's fullback. The second best fullback.
No. But, oh, sorry. Did I add Thielen into that group of players we were trading to
No,
you?
you
get
did not,
Thielen
but I'll
too.
take it if you. That's the deal, or that's the icing on the cake.
Oh,
right
that's
there.
what makes it a
Adam
deal.
Thielen,
Cook,
wide receiver.
Thielen,
Yeah.
Chicago.
Harrison Smith, and Eric Kendricks for the 1 overall pick. Dude, I could see us
You
doing
add
some
a-
bullshit where we take like Jackson Smith and Jigbo 1 overall. I could just
And
see
Bears
it.
fans would still find a way to complain about that.
Yeah, yeah,
How did we pass on him?
right. You still
We're
end.
supposed to reunite him and Justin.
Oh my god. Okay,
That'd be
back
cool,
to what.
but
No,
anyways,
if you're gonna reunite him with a
Bills.
guy, wait until next year and go do whatever it takes to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Thank you. Get him the better receiver on Ohio State.
Get both.
That's a strat. I wouldn't
Do
be
that,
mad.
man.
Well, I'd be mad because who's gonna cover those two? But not
Get
important.
both and sell Mooney.
To Minnesota for a 5th round pick. Deal?
No.
Thielen in a 5th right now for Mooney. Deal?
Anyways, continue.
Okay. No, but their secondary's awful. And it's not going to improve. Trey White came back from that injury. He didn't even look like a mediocre Trey White. He was a dumpster fire. And even if you want to say it's just because of the injury, how much farther up does he get? That fall off was huge. Poyer is walking. Micah Hyde is getting up there and just coming off a huge injury. Edmonds is walking. Von Miller coming off a huge injury at his old age. What are we getting out of him? Is Ed Oliver ever going to take another step past being fine? Probably not. AJ Epinesa's not going to work out, obviously. Greg Rousseau, maybe he can take another step. Out of all of the guys on that defense to take a step, he has the best shot because we've already seen him do it once. But then again, does he take another step? Not every guy has 2 steps. Sometimes it's only 1. Their offensive line is atrocious. Outside of Diggs, their weapons aren't that good. Gabe Davis is just... All right. Gabe Davis is just KJ Osborne with worse hands and better speed. That's it. They're both high-end wide receiver 3s that you really don't want to have being your wide receiver 2. You really don't. You want them to be your 3. So their weapons aren't good. They can't go get another running back, which is what they need, because they've used so many assets in the last year on running backs. 2nd rounder on James Cook, 5th rounder to trade for Nyheim Hines. Like, you can't keep investing there, so you're entirely going to be relying on Allen and Diggs to play hero ball, and that doesn't work because a team like the Bengals with a good safety and decent corners, Eli Apple's not good, but he's going to brag like he is because that's what he do. You're just going to get shut down by any team because they just know if we stop Diggs, it's not like it's in Minnesota where you at least have a TJ Hawkinson. Dawson Knox can't do that. He can't work with the volume that Hawkinson can. He just can't. Gabe Davis can't work the volume. He's a deep shot sometimes guy. So you're relying on Diggs and Allen, and that's not good enough. Hopefully, if Josh Allen's smart in 4 years when his new contract is up, you take a Brady deal. You take way less money so that you can build a real team. Because I don't see, at least for the duration of this contract, I don't see a world where the Bills window opens back up. It needs to be a new contract.
I don't either.
And if they don't win, are we sure Josh Allen will stay? Or Diggs, for that matter. Those are the last 2 guys you got.
Yeah.
Diggs and Allen can still work it out. The relationship between those 2 is way better than it was between Diggs and Kirk. Allen can save it. It's not like it was with Kirk.
I heavily doubt that Diggs will be there in 4 years.
He also doesn't hate McDermott. That was the other thing. Diggs, the real reason he wasn't wanted out wasn't even Kirk. The issue is they didn't have a good enough relationship for Kirk to save it. Diggs hated Zimmer, and that's why he left. Well, that, along with a little bit of Diggs being a good guy, knowing we could not afford to pay him, and saying, trade me and get some value. I want to go win. You can get some value instead of me just walking away. And we went, that's pretty fucking smart. And out he went. Like,
man, if only every player thought like that.
Well, like, and that's probably the best way to ask for a trade. You tell him, I'm leaving, and so trade me to a place that, all right, trade me to a place, you did it to me, now Miller's doing it to me, but you trade him to a place where he can go win and be happy, and that means you get assets out of it instead of him just walking off into the sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, listen, I think that, like, kind of trying to flip to the Bengals as well, like, looking at their side of it, I really think that this, I don't know, this offense is just, I mean, pretty ridiculous, man. And, like, Burrow did it. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs are going to win on Sunday, and we'll talk about the AFC Championship game in probably just a few minutes here. But I mean, the Bengals are a tough team, and like, it's just like, if they can run the ball the way they did against Buffalo, that is pretty much game against Kansas City, because then they can turn around and throw the ball at you whenever they want to. I mean,
even if it gets into a shootout.
And they just played such a clean game. Like, there wasn't many things that you could, like, this wasn't like an ugly win. It wasn't like, oh, man, they barely got out of there alive. It was, how did they not win by more? Like, it really was just like a complete and utter domination, manhandling, whatever you want to call it. Had to lead the whole way in Buffalo, in the snow, in their element. It was literally just like the Packers last year. Like, San Francisco walks into their element and just beats them at on the road, and like kind of just dominates the game overall. I mean, What are you making that face for? That's exactly what happened last year.
No, I totally zoned out of what you were saying. I'm trying to figure out if this report is real or not. The Vikings are apparently rumored to be one of the teams already in talks with the Rams about Jalen Ramsey. I wouldn't be mad.
NFL rumors with their Trust Me Bureau sources?
It was not NFL rumors, but I'm trying to figure out who the fuck it is and if they're valid. But I mean,
Nathaniel Hackett hiring, the only reason they would hire Nathaniel Hackett has to be setting up for Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, it has to be. It has to be. There's no other. Why would you hire Hackett? He's awful.
I mean, Packers offense had success when he was their offensive coordinator, so maybe they're thinking that way.
Because
but I don't know.
Rodgers. Do the Jets have a Rodgers?
They will.
If they trade for him, that no other guy is going to work with Hackett.
Zach Wilson will be a Packer, baby. Let's go. Oh, gosh.
Valid, Miller.
He can back up Jordan Love because Jet's stupid. LOL. Yes, sir. Good man. The king of the I don't even know what to call these little phrases that he drops once an episode, but yeah.
The king of muting himself and just randomly typing one-liners.
Yeah.
And then bullying Jake for no reason. Homie can't even talk to us over here, but he wants to pretend he's a bully.
Anyway.
Win more than 3 games and you can talk to us. Stay muted until the Bears win more than 3 games.
We were trying to woo. Shut up. I don't care. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the AFC Championship game since we're on the topic of the Bengals, talking about the Chiefs here. They're going into Arrowhead, and not much of a difference. Burrowhead, whatever. It seems to be that way. Does Joe Burrow improve himself to 4-0 against Patrick Mahomes this weekend? Yes, he does. He will be doing that because why, Miller? Why will the Bengals win this game? I think we all know this might be going on the graphic again, but
Bengal good win game.
They win game. Bengal good will win game. And yeah, I think that this will be a pretty clean game. And I mean, I would love this. If this is a Burrow-Mahomes shootout, would love to see it. I don't think it'll be a blowout whoever wins.
I'm a little worried that it will be. Because I think
shootout,
the Bengals
run good, Chief run D bad, run. Yes, sir.
But see, I'm seeing this world where the Bengals defense, right? They're gonna send pressure early, which they've never done against Mahomes. But I promise you they're sending pressure early. They want to see if homie can move. If Mahomes can't scramble and get away from it, the Bengals are going to be the sharks who see blood in the water. Like, Hendrickson is better than any pass rusher on the Bills. Fuck, Sam Hubbard is better than any pass rusher on the Bills. DJ Reader is one of the best run stoppers in football. Like you're not going to beat him on the run. And if Mahomes can't move, they're fucked. Yeah, the Chiefs' tackles are both 7th in pressures allowed.
Their offensive line's just not that great.
No. Yeah, he's giving his arguments through text because I guess something. Oh, top 7, not 7th. Gotcha. Both in the top 7. Yeah, which is the worst. Orlando Brown fucked himself so hard this year.
Could have had the bag.
He turned down the bag and then played the worst year, not only of his career, but like a bottom 5 offensive tackle season after getting offered $100 million.
It's sad to say that he's an upgrade, but
I mean, he still would be an upgrade.
You should not want Orlando Brown. He would be an upgrade, and you know that. You're a Bears offensive line hater.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell me, dude. No. Also, Orlando Brown, when he played his best, played right tackle, not left tackle.
Yeah, and I mean, Chiefs, man, I just
because remember Ronnie Stanley was the left tackle.
We haven't said this word yet this episode, but do the Chiefs have the juice to really keep up with the Bengals?
No, they don't.
I don't think they do. They do not.
Juice is a great word. Go fuck yourself, Miller.
Yeah. I think no.
That's not what he's mad at. Okay. I see. I thought you were trying to say that was Gotcha.
But
I was
yeah, it seems we're on agreement. I personally am picking Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Man, it's
Miller. You wanna drop it? Joe Snow. All right.
Bengal good win game.
They will. But yeah, any other thoughts, tidbits, storylines you want to add about this game before we move on? Okay, Miller.
Are you reading the thing?
He's like very clearly trying to clear something out of the room he's in so he can talk. But it's not working, and he's getting very frustrated.
Are we just trying to play charades?
Kind of, but he's also typing in the chat a little bit. He's not really being very expressive. He's just kind of he's definitely angry. You can tell by the look on his face that he's angry. And he wants to say something so bad. He has some take locked and loaded, ready to spit out, but he just can't.
He has some profound words for us that he refuses to say.
What could be so horrible for our ears to hear that he can't press the unmute button? I guess we'll never know.
So I'm gonna bring up the Bengals now. I'll just keep it running so he has a chance to maybe get to talk. But no, speaking of the Chiefs not having the juice, that is the worry. Do they have the guys who can stop this Bengals offense?
Like, sure.
They're going to be able to be dominant in the run game, and you no longer have Tyrann Mathieu to help lock up half of a side of a field.
To be a T. Higgins masterclass because they're going to be so focused on Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins is going to go, not Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. And you think they're going to focus on T. Higgins? No, I don't think so.
No.
If they focus on Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins is going to get open, obviously, against whatever bums they have on him.
And honestly, I expect kind of a loud game from Tyler Boyd. The Chiefs do not have the linebackers and safeties to hang with him over the middle of the field.
And even Hayden Hurst has been okay too. It's they're very solid when it comes to receiving options.
Samaje Perine can beat you out of the backfield. Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
This team is incredible offensively. And then defensively, I mean,
it's really
the safety duo of Von Bell and Jesse Bates, along with one of the better coverage linebackers in football in Logan Wilson, Wyoming legend. That's why the Bengals are my team in the playoffs, because Logan Wilson exists.
DJ Reader is so good against the run. The Chiefs are not going to move the football at all on the ground. And and
Dax.
I mean, the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard and everybody. I mean, I'm not really sure. I haven't done much Chris Jones research. I'm not sure how he is as a run stopper. Maybe he can help the Chiefs kind of try.
He's going to have to.
Down. Yeah, that's about all he can do. Chris Jones is truly their only hope.
Unless we get a L'Jarius Sneed masterclass, and he just one-on-one locks up Jamar Chase. Is that likely? Fuck no. I've seen weirder.
But even if he does it, they can't stop the run. Who cares, right?
That's valid.
And then there's also T. Higgins on the other side, and
Miller's having such a rough go.
There are very few outcomes I can imagine that the Chiefs end up pulling this one out. But I'm never going to fully count Mahomes out. I am picking the Bengals, but I'm never going to fully count Mahomes out at home, especially after the display he put on, even being injured last week. And Andy Reid is so clear of Zach Taylor, so maybe.
Right, and oh man. I don't know. Zach Taylor, I think, is getting more hate now than he's. Oh yeah,
but
the flip in the middle of the season. Oh yes, but the flip since the middle of the season. In week 8, I was still calling for Zach Taylor's head. Now it's just been adjustments by him. He didn't hand play calling duties off to somebody else. He made adjustments and has been actually really good the last half of this season as a play caller, along with obviously being a great coach in the more the words aren't coming to my head right now. I'm making things up on the fly. Miller has got me though with what I'm looking for. Yeah, all of his off the field stuff is obviously incredible. He's a great players coach. What a guy. None of those were the words I was looking for. but they cover what I meant, so I'll take it. But no, he's done great things for this team, and he's rallied the team behind him. And I think the other thing we're forgetting is how last year the Bengals went on a Super Bowl run because they felt disrespected. How do you think they felt this year? They feel more disrespected. They about to go all. Did you just stab yourself? Oh, okay.
I really do think
talk.
I mean, I really do think that, like, yeah, I mean,
and owie.
That one's going to the quote book. I really just, yeah, I mean, this seems to be a pretty consensus take. I really wish you could hear what Miller has to say.
Dude, I want to know what he has to say, but we have to move on at some point. I have like nothing else I can stall about, other than do we get the Eli Apple back. Do we get the magical Eli Apple play again this year, only on Travis Kelce instead of Tyreek Hill? Remember, Eli Apple saved the game last year. 100%.
No.
You sure? That's what Eli Apple does. He makes one good play so he can talk shit for the next year. He hasn't made the good play yet.
And then proceeded to give up what ended up being the game-winning touchdown to
Bro, it's Cooper Kupp.
It was Tyreek Hill.
Right, I said the one good play. But also, in the end zone, throwing a ball up where you have to beat a corner one-on-one using your hands and your body, Tyreek Hill is not comparable to Cooper Kupp, and I'm staying on that hill. He is 5'8". He's not mossing nobody. Except maybe Eli Apple, because he fucking sucks.
Point being, Eli Apple will not make a difference in this game. Maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong. But if they win the game,
if he doesn't
I guarantee
make the play in this game, that means he makes the game-winning play in the Super Bowl. That's how that works. Eli Apple's going to get his. That's how it works. Maybe that was why they lost last year. He made the play too early. Pick six to win the Super Bowl. Oh, my God. Jalen Hurts throws it to A.J. Brown in the end zone. Eli Apple mosses A.J. Brown, returns it 103 yards for the touchdown. Bengal good win game.
Yeah. I mean,
if that happens in the Super Bowl, I apparently am a fucking prophet.
Speaking of Senor
you said
Hurts,
pick six, but I created the whole story. If it happens the way I said it, I'm a prophet.
Speaking of Senor Hurts, I suppose that we should at least.
We gotta go talk about that. We'll let Miller have his moment when he gets back.
Have his moment when he can talk. But at this point, I've been thinking about this game all week, and I go back and forth. I am taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sticking to my guns. I love Jalen Hurts. I think this offense is finally the offense I can overcome. This defense, best secondary Purdy has played, best defense Purdy has played by far. And quite frankly, this is the best coach they've faced. So I think that this is where the Purdy insanity run ends. I've kind of cooled off on them being a Super Bowl team just because of what I saw out of Philly. You know, if Philly had come out and won like 17-14, I would have been like, oh, like I don't know. But Philly, after what they showed me in the division run against the Giants, I'm pretty convinced that they're going to win the Super Bowl. So, and I mean, in order to do that, they have to get there. So I'm picking them to get there. I'm picking them to beat the 49ers pretty easily.
Look at how the Niners played against a banged-up Cowboys team, too. They did not run things. Purdy wasn't good. The Niners' defense wasn't that good. It was more mistakes from Dak than it was plays from the Niners' defense. And that's the biggest thing. The Niners' secondary, I keep saying this, is not that good. You know who's going to be able to take advantage of it? The quarterback with the best offensive line in football and who is very mobile. He can just scramble away and let A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Quez Watkins and Dallas Goedert beat you down the field.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop that. And I love Tashaun Gibson, but he's not saving their season. He's just not. Oh, my God.
He is not.
Miller's got more to say. He's angry. Dude, go to a different room. You're on a laptop. Just carry it to somewhere else. Go to a bathroom and lock the door.
Go outside. Go touch grass while you're at it.
Let's go touch some grass, dog. What the fuck is he saying now?
Go outside.
No other rooms.
How cold is it in Maryland right now? Man,
not cold enough. Just go outside.
Your beard will protect you.
Yes. The beard and the hair got you. It's not that cold.
Another 15, 20 minutes, maybe like 25. I mean, you can survive these temperatures here in Frostburg.
I don't even want to hear it from him, you know. I really don't. But no, the Eagles are the better team basically all around, and that's what matters. And the Niners, the one thing that does spook me a little is the worst part of the Eagles is their run defense. The best part of the Niners is their running game. But the Eagles can really easily take that away, jump out to a quick lead, take away their ability to run the ball. Go up by 20, 14, 17, 20 points early. The Niners then are forced to rely on Brock Purdy to beat you. If you can force them into that situation, which means offensively, you gotta start hot. You just absolutely have to. If you can do that, and you can force it to try to be Brock Purdy has to put on a masterclass or we win, those are some really good odds. Because Brock Purdy ain't having a masterclass. He's just not.
I think this is the inevitable Brock Purdy stinker that we've been waiting on.
I don't know. I've been predicting it for 3 weeks though, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, but this is the Eagles secondary.
That's true. They have maybe the best secondary in football. Like, the Eagles are kind of a scary team. And there's also a world where, because it's now playoff time, I'm not saying Jordan Davis can hit another gear because I don't think he knows what that means. Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh and Fletcher Cox have all historically been really good run defenders. Now, they haven't been great all year, but how much of that was, taking some plays off and not working that hard? Because you're anywhere from 33 to 38. And,
Actually, yeah.
Does week 8 matter? Or does getting to the Super Bowl matter? I don't know. The intensity ratchet up, along with the amount of really good veteran guys they brought in the middle of the season, I think this is where we see Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh have their first really actual impactful games for Philly. I've seen a lot of Linval, and we've all seen a lot of Ndamukong Suh. He used to terrorize all three of us. So, we know how this can go. And I would almost bet that that's more likely than... What is this? What does this bearded man in the Bears jersey want? It's snowing. It's snowing here. I'll go outside.
Hello.
Oh, look.
Okay. So, first of all, I'd like to apologize.
2 weeks in a row.
Listen, okay. My current living situation's not ideal. So I have to record in a common room. I don't have my own space.
Oh, sure.
People just kind of come in and out, and usually I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna record. Give me a little bit of time." We go a long time. Eventually, people are like, "All right, we gotta come out."
Right.
My mother has her day off, so she's up late. She is half asleep and was mumbling and laughing to herself. So I didn't want Mike on. But anyways,
Interesting.
Chiefs,
That's a
Bengals.
choice.
You have the floor. You have the floor.
Yeah.
I tried to mention this, and you guys kind of overlooked it. Run, run, run. That is the key this week for the Bengals. The Chiefs allowed 6 yards per carry to Samaje Perine the last time these two teams met. The Chiefs' interior defensive line, despite having Chris Jones, cannot defend the run. The Bengals' offensive line clearly, they manhandled the Bills. Like we said, they completely manhandled them. They're not going to be able to do that this week, but they're clearly capable of taking on the Chiefs' defensive line and allowing the run to work. The beautiful thing about the Bengals as well, they will let the Chiefs dink and dunk down the field. They will force the Chiefs into these 11, 12, 13 play drives and be okay with it because they know for a fact they can execute them better than Kansas City right now. I really don't think this is going to be this big shootout that everyone wants it to be. This is going to be some hard-fought trench warfare between these two teams. Sure, Mahomes and Burrow are going to take over and they're going to have their big plays. They're inevitable. But it's not going to be a fucking 45... This isn't Chiefs-Bills from last year. This is a different ball game where the run is going to be major for Cincinnati. And I really think that's going to be the key to this game. It's going to be Mixon and Perine taking over and really allowing the Bengals to control the clock, control the ball, and just be able to do things their way. Now, with the Chiefs and 49ers, or with the Eagles and 49ers, I'm getting whatever the fuck the two teams are, okay? The big thing here is, like Geek said, the Niners' run game is favored against the Eagles' run defense. The real comparison here... Hold on, let me rephrase that. On paper, it should be that the Niners' run defense is going to be better than the Eagles' run... Fuck! I'm all discombobulated now because I was trying to play charades. The Eagles' run defense is going to look bad against the Niners' run game, and we all know that's going to happen. But
no.
The Eagles' defense
Joseph will eat Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, well, if Geek's theory comes true and all the old men fucking have vintage performances, then it won't be the case. But this game really is going to come down to Purdy versus Hurts because both of these teams have phenomenal supporting casts. And I trust Hurts a hell of a lot more with a secondary that is not favorable than I trust Brock Purdy against any good defense.
Fair.
Now, interesting fact. Obviously, Hurts was one of the best passers when it came to just throwing go balls outside the numbers. I've got the numbers here. Where's it at? He was genuinely the most effective passer when throwing go balls outside of the numbers. Niners secondary, their DBs, specifically Lenore and Ward, love to press. They're really good in press coverage. That's their bread and butter. And they've only allowed 2 touchdowns on go balls in press coverage. Those 2 touchdowns were to Tay Adams and DK Metcalf. I think A.J. Brown's going to add his name to that list. He's going to beat them at least once because DK is extremely physical. That's going to be the most physical receiver they've gone up against, and they allowed him to score. A.J. Brown's the second most physical receiver they've gone against. They're going to get a favorable matchup at some point in this game. Hurts is going to let it rip, and that's going to be huge because Purdy's not going to be able to execute a big-time play like that against the Philadelphia defense. They are going to put Purdy in a fucking box. That is the big key here. The Eagles' defense throughout the season had like 70 sacks, I think, or something fucking absurd. And it's like 35 in their last 7 or so games. They are going to put Purdy in a box.
Yeah.
I don't, hate to say it, but I do think there are very clear favorites in both games. Granted, these are the 4 best teams in football. But this talk of, the NFC's the Super Bowl this year, the AFC's the Super Bowl this year, no. There's a clear favorite in these 2 games. Then when we get Cincy and Philly in the Super Bowl, that's going to be a fucking insane matchup.
Cincy wins. They have Logan Wilson. They win.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure. We'll talk about that when the matchup is set.
That's fair.
I'd also, one more thing. Just one more fun little statistic for you, and then I'll shut up. I need my 5 minutes or whatever. So we all know the Eagles love to run the ball inside. They are the eighth. They ran 11 personnel, the eighth most in the league, with 70% of the time on their early down. So on first and second down, they run 11 personnel 70% of the time. They are sixth most total 11 personnel runs, and out of those 11 personnel plays, they like to run a lot of inside zone and a lot of RPOs. RPOs are going to be difficult when you're going up against the 49ers' fantastic linebacking core that is super quick and able to find the ball instantly. And on top of that, the Niners only allow 3.2 yards per carry against inside zone looks because of those linebackers. So like I said, that inevitable Jalen Hurts go route to A.J. Brown torches one of those corners is going to be so huge in this game.
Sorry, I'm trying to look it up. Officially, I am rooting for every team that's not the Chiefs in the playoffs this year. I believe.
Why is that?
So the Eagles have Marcus Epps. He's also from Wyoming. The Bengals have Logan Wilson.
Oh, for God's sake.
And the Niners have Tashawn Gibson. So anyone but the Chiefs can win. Them's the rules.
Valid.
Them's the rules. At least so far. I'm going through the list because there are a bunch of dudes from Wyoming that I have no clue who they are or where they play.
One more thing I had written down. One more thing.
Yeah.
This isn't a stat. This is just how it is. Just to further support that this go ball is going to happen to A.J. Brown at some point in this game. 49ers are one of the best teams in the league at defending the middle of the field in the pass game because of their fantastic linebackers. And the Eagles are a team that really doesn't have to rely on that middle of the field game because of how good Jalen Hurts is at throwing go balls. That goes along with everything else I just said, and it's just kind of a random, like, yeah, no shit, but I don't care. I am putting all my cards on this go ball happening that if it doesn't happen, I will be sad.
Fair enough. That's valid.
Anyways, I'm done now.
That's valid.
I have to assume by looking just at the time on my phone that we're getting pretty close to...
We've got...
It's 1 a.m.
A little shorter than 10 minutes.
All right.
So we can touch on stuff if we need to. Phrasing.
Coaches, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to keep this as short and sweet as possible. But yeah, there have been some coach hirings. I think the big one is obviously talking about Frank Reich going to the Panthers. This is a big hire. I like him a lot. I mean, I think we've talked about on all three of our individual shows and on this show that we all kind of thought that Frank Reich deserved another shot at the head coaching job. Kind of got screwed over by Indianapolis and their bias towards Jeff Saturday and everything like that. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy. And I think this is a guy who really is going to be good for this team, like locker room wise, culture wise. I think he's going to kind of prevent this team from imploding from the inside at least, and he'll get his quarterback. He'll be able to have a guy to develop. So great hire for them. And yeah, I mean, he was the dude who took the first snap ever for the Panthers, and now he's about to coach for him. So
yeah,
that's not the only thing. He was the first quarterback ever for the Panthers,
which is why he took the first snap.
I saw Matthew Sponhour talk about this, so I know it's true because he's the only Panthers fan I've ever met.
That is fair. Yes.
Frank Reich is also the first offensive head coach in the history of the Carolina Panthers.
That's cool.
So
that's a change that needed to be made.
First quarterback, first offensive head coach. That's a W. It's a W.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me here with Reich is he's going to get an opportunity to actually pick a quarterback and run with the quarterback he wants. I feel like he got a really raw deal in Indy because he was kind of forced into just using whatever veteran quarterback Jim Irsay wanted. As we all know, Jim Irsay is a cancer upon the Colts organization, and basically, whatever he says goes, which, fine, he's the owner, it's his team, whatever, but he's doing a hell of a lot more harm than good, and forcing Frank Reich into all these different veteran quarterbacks that were just not going to work for him, and then giving him Carson Wentz for a year and Reich being like, okay, this is my guy, we can build on this, stripping him away, throwing Matt Ryan at him and him failing and then getting fired for it. I just think he got a raw deal, and now he's in Carolina. They have the 9th overall pick. They might be able to sit and take a quarterback. They can definitely trade up and get a quarterback. Either way, Frank Reich's going to get a guy that he likes and he's going to be able to develop. And hell, maybe we can even be surprised in that guy's fucking Matt Corral. I don't think it's likely, but Maybe.
It could be.
I'd like it. I'd like it.
It's possible, and I mean, Reich's gonna have enough time to figure that out. Maybe. I mean, he can evaluate Corral the same way he can evaluate anyone they're going to be in position to draft, and he can just weight it off that.
Yeah.
Do I want to take another guy, or do I think I have the ability to make this guy into something really good? And you guys know me. Matt Corral was the guy I said was the best quarterback in last year's draft. I stand by that. Out of all of the guys drafted, I think he has the best shot of actually being an NFL quarterback. I didn't like Pickett. Willis has the best shot to be a star, but he also has the best shot to never play another game. Like, Malik Willis he was a project, and a huge project. Not an Anthony Richardson level project. Like, Anthony Richardson ran a real offense. Malik Willis did not.
I also like Anthony Richardson, not to get too much in the job press box, is just a little bit better of a passer than he's given credit for.
Oh, absolutely. I think people forget that Gators team is not good. Like, this isn't 2 years ago where Kyle Pitts existed and Kadarius Toney. He didn't have weapons like them. If they did, they might have went undefeated. Not gonna lie. Like, if he had real weapons to work with, it could have gone insane. But oh man.
What?
What's happening?
Sorry, I opened TikTok and I got a weird comment.
What'd you get?
I don't like it.
I want to hear it.
Some faceless profile with an anime profile picture said, "I love this guy's page. His beard is so awesome and he's so handsome."
Oh, they're flirting.
It feels creepy.
You're getting flirted.
It feels creepy.
You're getting flirted.
It feels creepy. There is no face, no age, just an anime profile picture. I feel
that's always
out.
Scary. That's fair. That is always scary. But getting flirted.
I'm gonna shave my beard after this now. I don't feel comfortable.
Don't worry, I've been talking about it for a while. Do we do it? Do we make a deal?
I'm thinking about it now that I'm back in school. I don't know. I still gotta decide. I don't know if I'm gonna shave my beard or just trim it down to be like those beards that are just like right up against the skin.
Right. See, I want to just shave mine off and give it a better chance to grow in more full.
That's valid.
Because the rest of my face is never catching up to the neck beard. So I'm going to have to shave it at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Colts almost made me shave it, but they decided to blow the biggest lead in history. So, which is still hilarious. The night before the Vikings-Colts game, I tweeted, if we lose to the Colts, I'll shave my beard. At halftime, I thought about breaking out the shaving cream. Glad I didn't. Because, what's up, Jake?
Imagine if you would have.
Oh, you held up your finger like you wanted to talk.
Oh, no.
Okay. Brian Flores interviewed for the Vikings defensive coordinator job today, so...
Whoop-de-doo.
I'm pissed. Why'd we let dude walk out that building? Why? That's a mistake. Dude, if we end up with Mike fucking Pettin, I'm calling for Kevin O'Connell and
I thought you were going to say
Quessie's head.
Zimmer.
No, Zimmer would be great if if everyone on the team didn't already hate him. Like, dude still knows how to call a defense.
Colorado.
So?
I'm just saying, he's there now. He just signed with Coach Prime.
Who fucking cares if an NFL
you can't
team
blow off Coach Prime?
Oh, you can. When an NFL
Coach
team
Prime
calls you, offers you 10 times the money, and you get to go coach real players.
Yeah, you go, "Hey, sorry, I'm working with Coach Prime now."
You know for a fact that's not. Actually, that might be how it goes for Zimmer. He loves Prime.
Yeah.
And
the Vikings column.
Oh, dude, that's the thing. I've seen Vikings fans say this. First of all, why would we want him back? Second of all, why would he want to come back? None of that makes sense. The only defensive coordinator, former head coaches that make sense are Flores and, like, Fangio. But he's not coming here, so...
Good.
You know what? Now I hope he does. Just to piss off Miller. Make him have to root for the Vikings.
No. I'll just abandon Vic.
No,
Yeah.
Vic's coming here. Devin Hester's going to sign on to be our special teams coach. Rex Grossman's going to sign up to be the quarterback.
Well, I don't give a shit about Rexy Gexy. That's his name. Yep, Sexy Rexy. I don't care about him.
Oh goodness.
Oh God. Who's another bear you loved?
All right, just cut the fucking podcast before he gets any more ideas.
No, actually,
right.
no. You want to know my best idea real quick? It's very important. Part of me wants the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. Because then they're forced to stick with Purdy. Trey Lance becomes available. Trey Lance, future Viking. You heard it here.
Yeah, see, that's why that's how I'm rationalizing the not wanting the 49ers to win despite them being my favorite team left. Because if they do win, they're going to lock themselves into a worse position.
Not only are they going to lock themselves into Purdy, Trey Lance would probably join your division. The Vikings can offer a fuck ton.
You could also go to L.A. Or not L.A., Las Vegas.
Vegas.
What is Vegas going to trade?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's another team that needs a quarterback. I thought that's just what we're throwing out here.
No.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Maybe he goes to Houston.
No, because I think there's a world where it's not even a draft pick for Trey Lance.
What are you trying
Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, Nick Bosa, and Eric Armstead would be the most
Burger King
dangerous.
Gift card.
Dude, stop.
Happy day.
What a way
God,
to end off the
fuck it.
podcast, let me say.
All right, wrap it up. The Whopper sound is coming.
Whopper.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Whopper.
Is I'm gonna post a clip of the podcast and just cut it off with the Whopper sound.
Oh, that's what you're gonna do.
To get us the views. Yeah.
If the 49ers win the Super Bowl, you're just gonna cut out my whole Trey Lance take and substitute the Burger King commercial.
No. What you need to do is anytime I tried to talk, sub that in.
Yes.
So when I'm sitting here like this, it's just
That'd be funny.
Whopper.
Yeah.
Upload an edited version of the podcast that is just Miller yelling Whopper.
Yes.
Whopper,
Not even the full song,
Whopper.
just Whopper, yeah.
All right. Well, I believe that is all from this bunch of hooligans tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to go ahead and follow us on all social platforms at Run the North Pod. Obviously, coming out with episodes weekly. We are not in any way affiliated or associated with Welch's Fruit Snacks. Don't let David fool you if you're watching on YouTube here. But
we could be though.
But I'm fooled by
we
them.
could
Welch's,
be. So if you're
go
watching,
ahead and reach out.
Think about it, Welch.
Go ahead and
I'll eat
reach out.
12 packets of these an episode if you sponsor us.
Run the
go.
North podcast everywhere you look. Thank you guys again so much for listening, and we will see you in episode 4. All right.